Nike was the brand that owned the sneaker game, and now they have a problem. Nike has been crushing its competitors for many years until the tables turned in 2024. Competitors have started looking for revenge. Since the late 1990s, Nike's worst performing year was 2024. With sales taking a nosedive in Q1, they had cut their workforce by 2% as a part of a desperate attempt to save $2 billion. But the sales of rivals, Adidas, Puma, and Asics are surging. New brands are slowly building up their way, but Nike's shoes, they stack up on clearance racks. So what happened? How did the undisputed sneaker king end up in this dire position? And more importantly, can Nike turn things around? To understand what went wrong, we have to rewind to 2020, when Nike's leadership underwent a major shakeup. After a legendary 16-year run, Mark Parker, who climbed the ladder from a footwear designer to CEO, stepped down by passing the torch to John Donahoe. But here's the thing, Donahoe wasn't a sneaker guy. He came from the tech world. He was a tech guy. His biggest move at Nike wasn't a surprise, doubling down on Nike's direct-to-consumer strategy. Back in 2019, Nike's e-commerce was thriving. The Sneakers app was a goldmine, with active users doubling and 20% of digital sales coming from the app alone. When the pandemic hit, this investment proved to be a massive success. Donahoe went all in, cutting off a third of its wholesale partnerships and pouring billions into its own digital ecosystem. In 2019, the wholesale business brought in a revenue of $19 billion for Nike, so it was a very aggressive decision. However, the start was perfect. Nike's digital platform attracted over 160 million users, and by May 2020, 30% of all sales were digital, 3 years ahead of schedule. But here's where things took a turn. Donahoe's goal was to reach 50% in digital sales, but when lockdowns lifted, customers flocked back to brick-and-mortar stores, and Nike, it had burned too many bridges with its retail partners. Then came the inventory nightmare. During the pandemic, Nike's supply chain was severely disrupted. In the latter half of 2022, several seasons worth of products finally landed in the warehouses of Nike, and they found themselves drowning in nearly $9.7 billion worth of unsold sneakers. That's the highest inventory level in company history. What happened to their stock price? It was plummeted by 14%. To fix this, Nike had to do several things. They had to bring in discounts when choosing DTC channel. Nike went back to the retailers it once left behind, and while wholesale partners welcomed Nike back, it was already too late to fully reverse the damage. And then there's the hype problem. Nike built its most iconic franchises like Jordans on scarcity, drop limited pairs, sell out instantly, and keep sneakerheads begging for more. In 2021, demand on sneakers skyrocketed 70% compared to the previous year, but Nike could only meet 7% of that demand. Imagine how much Nike had lost in profits. So, Nike started adjusting, producing more stock to meet demand. But here's the issue. When something becomes too available, the hype dies again. It was a double-edged sword. Now, Nike is scrambling to bring back exclusivity by cutting down production on some of its biggest franchises. However, the issue is that these limited edition pairs are only desired by a tiny portion of Nike's total consumers. And while Nike was focused on its digital shift, competitors seized the moment. New brands like Hoka and On Running dominated the running scene with new, tech-heavy designs. Meanwhile, New Balance and Adidas capitalized on the sports lifestyle trend, making the 990s, Sambas, and Gazelles. What happened to Nike? Fell behind. But here's the thing. Nike knows how to fight back. This is the company that revolutionized shoe tech, Air Max, Flyknit, self-lacing sneakers. And now, Nike is shifting gears. Hard. On September 19th, 2024, Nike appointed a new CEO, Elliott Hill. Elliott started as an intern and worked his way up. The company announced a massive multi-year innovation cycle. It's not just one shoe or one platform. It's going to be a continuous wave of new technology. Hill is building back the relationship with wholesalers. He has emphasized that they put the athlete at the center of all decisions by refocusing on sports that are core to the brand, such as running and basketball. Nike is also going all out in endorsements. They snagged Caitlin Clark, outbidding everyone. They broke Adidas' 7-year partnership with Germany's national soccer team. Nike is still the undisputed sneaker giant, almost twice the size of Adidas, its biggest rivalry. While the past few years have been rocky, experts strongly believe Nike can make a strong comeback. We'll wait and see for their new line of releases, because if there's one thing we've learned, Nike always finds a way to win. They just do it.